Hi everyone, hope you're all keeping well. Today I want to take a look at whether we're giving the best of ourselves to the Lord, or perhaps even enough of ourselves. So Matthew 6 verse 33 tells us, "Seek the kingdom of God above all else and live righteously, and he will give you everything you need." So Josh approached me about getting involved in the weekly devotionals that have just started. I thought, great, I'd love to be involved in that again. It was something I really enjoyed doing with youth group during lockdown, and it actually gave me a perfect opportunity to grow and learn myself, so I took a lot of value and benefit from it. But it was when Josh asked if I could do it this week, I hesitated first. See, the last couple of weeks have been particularly busy, and I know the next few are going to be just as busy for me. So in addition to working full time at the moment, I'm running a project with a US client in the evening, so the days are incredibly stretched out. And there's lots of other conflicting timelines and pressures on other bits and pieces. So there's a new venture I'm working on for the new year. There's some governor meetings I've been involved in, interviewing of teachers at the school where I'm a governor, helping out some promotional videos at work, helping some friends out with CVs. Lots of little things that in their own right don't, probably consume that much time. But it's once these start mounting up and layering on top of each other that you suddenly feel like you've got a lot on your to-do list and you're just not sure how to get through. Now I'm sure I'm not alone in this, and Stacey talked really well last week about battles of the mind and becoming overwhelmed with business, and how we end up wrestling with our own thoughts. So it actually got to the point last week where I said to Rachel, I think I've probably taken on a bit too much, or too much on all at once. So I really wanted to say to Josh, not this week, could I push it back, but felt really uncomfortable in doing that, and rightly so, I think. Why should this be the one thing that gets relegated down the list and gets parked behind the other things? So I think, the Lord's work is important and requires us to commit our time to him. But I'm also conscious in the last couple of weeks I've fallen asleep reading the daily Bible plan, the reading plan. So despite best intentions of reading it during the course of the day, it's slipped my mind for whatever reason. I found myself reading it the last thing at night before I've gone to bed, and a couple of times I've just drifted off with weary eyes. So I think God deserves better than that. I may, in my eyes, have ticked the box to say, yep, completed the daily reading plan, but have I really? Have I really taken it in? Have I really invested the time in doing that? I'm sure he deserves more than that. He deserves the best of us, the freshest version of ourselves, the most focused version of ourselves. We've also got a dog recently, so I've somehow magicked up some time to take Nemo the dog out for a walk in the morning and the evening, and it actually creates a bit of headspace that I don't get at other points during the day. So it's been really enjoyable, and something I've just found the time to do now on a daily basis. So that also got me thinking, surely the Lord deserves an equivalent daily commitment, and I've no doubt at all that would come with its own reward and would probably create more peace of mind than anything else. So I think it's about where we place our priorities and what we always make time for, and what we model other stuff around. It reminds me of the story of a professor who was teaching his class around the principle of a jar, and how you fill a jar up with sand, small stones and rocks. And if you start with the sand and then the small stones, then you don't find that there's enough room to put the rocks in. But if you do that in reverse, and I think he references the rocks as being the most important things in our life, if you put them into the jar first, the other things assemble around them, and you find ways of putting in the smaller things, the smaller stones, and then the sand as well. So I'm sure there's a much more eloquent way of explaining that story that the professor used, but I think those of you that are familiar with it will kind of understand where I'm coming from. So I think it's what's at the core of us that we put in place and that we use as the defining structure, and we let other things mould themselves around, to the point where maybe some of the other things that were supposed to fit in that jar can't fit in anymore, but maybe that's right. maybe some of that stuff should overflow. But if we know we've always got the most important things at the centre and we're devoting time to the Lord, then that's the right approach to take. So I hope in some way that's provided some food for thought, or provided some perspective or challenge in terms of where we are, and where we're devoting our time, and where we should be devoting our time. And I think it's a challenge to probably reset some of our priorities. It certainly is for me. I think the thing is, the Lord doesn't require us to make appointments with him. He is always willing and able to make time. Probably more than that, actually. He's probably desperate to engage with us, if only we'd give him the time and attention that he deserves. So I'm certainly going to try harder and have a bit of a reset myself. I know I'll fail again. In fact, time and time again, I'm pretty sure of that. But I'm determined to keep challenging myself around that. So I hope you all have a great week. Take care, and God bless.